Dobro utro, počitovani dame i gospoda, dragi kolegi. It will be very difficult for me to speak after such a distinguished series of speeches because all the smart and right things have already been said. So I'll try to be short and present perhaps two areas that are relevant for today's discussion. One is at the global level, what UN and UNDP are doing to address the existing crisis, including financial crisis. And second one, what we are doing as UNDP in North Macedonia. Almost every year, UNDP globally publishes a human development report, which is unlike financial or economic reports, also has a number of other indicators that bring in the state of health, education, standard of living in the countries. Over 90% of the countries of the world have reported this year a human development index decline. And this report was published earlier in September this year in New York. The report talks about world of worry, where the ongoing COVID pandemic, the war in Ukraine, the impact of climate change, the rising cost of living have created a new set of uncertainties that have been shaped the realities of people and communities. The new set of, it's not one uncertainty, unfortunately it's a set of uncertainties, and they impact people, communities, their well-being, further polarization that in return harms public deliberation process. This is particularly why UNDP has an interest in identifying those uncertainties and their impact on people and communities in North Macedonia. We are working with this report that argues for a path forward, something that our policymakers can follow, design activities around it, and encourage partners to pursue. There are three policy areas that this report identifies and prioritizes: investment, innovation, and insurance. By investment, we mean forming the capabilities people will need in the future and enable socio-economic and planetary conditions for human flourishing. By insurance, we mean protect people in uncertain times and safeguard people's capabilities, including their fundamental freedoms such as human security. And by innovation, we mean to generate capabilities that might still not yet exist today, but will be required in the future. At UNDP, we try to address the development challenges and these new uncertainties by adopting integrated approaches aimed at transformative change. In our strategic plan, a global strategic plan of UNDP 21-25, we outline how we will work with our partners to support governments and communities to rebound from this crisis and build forward better. UNDP has adopted 6 signature solutions or priority areas of our work that are relevant globally and also in North Macedonia. They include reducing poverty and inequality, governance, resilience, environment, energy, and gender equality. These 6 areas are reinforced by cross-cutting areas such as innovation, digitalization, development finance as enablers, and we hope that they will support countries to leave no one behind, to build resilience and pursue structural transformation. Let me give you maybe 2 or 3 examples of how this is articulated in North Macedonia, what it means for the life of people in North Macedonia. In the Polog region, we are supporting a project aimed to improve the resilience to floods in 13 communities. And for the first time, we are actually using the approach that we are not doing it for each separate community separately. It's a river basin approach that includes all communities, and communities have to talk to each other because the river flow goes from one community to the other. We established a new center for transfer of technology with sectoral coverage in emerging and promising fields such as green and digital technology. Its focus is to help dissemination of knowledge and information coming from the best global practice. With this, we hope to support the new generation of skills developed in the country. We also support municipalities, empower their municipal councils, and support them in making them more transparent, effective, and digital. The multi-dimensional crisis, which was presented by previous speakers, including Ukraine, food, energy, cost of living, and just as a reminder to all of us that energy crisis was actually declared in North Macedonia by the government before the war started, and it was exacerbated by the actual war. Determined to create actionable intelligence about the impact of these uncertainties in North Macedonia, we commissioned 2 studies that aim to assess the impact of the crisis. The first impact assessment report focused on how the crisis impacts the functioning of municipalities in the country, how has it affected their budgets and their service delivery. The second research focused on how companies in our country as well as institutions deal with the rise of the prices and commodities and trade patterns due to the crisis. In the first study, the scope of the research included budgets of municipalities, revenue, composition, spending, and today we will share 5 key insights. The relevant period of this study was between January and July 2022. Majority of the municipalities we surveyed, more than 70%, stated that Ukraine crisis negatively impacted the normal functioning of the municipality. The increase of cost of goods and services, mainly due to the higher prices of electricity, fuel prices, and other energy sources, which means that municipalities will have less money or no money to invest in development. They will be spending much more, approximately 5 times more. In different municipalities, the price will be different, to cover the energy needs, electricity needs. The researchers also noted a significant increase of local government expenditure for communal services, heating, communication, and transport. This cannot capture the full-blown impact of the energy crisis, as some energy bills, electricity, gas, wood for heating, are not yet paid. The payment of the bills is either reprogrammed in more installments or postponed. One of the strongest impacts of the compound crisis in 2022 on local self-government is significant slowdown in local investments, including capital investments, including investments in the development and in the future. Impact of the crisis in key sectors such as energy. Economic indicators are pointing to a negative impact of socio-economic milieu of the country. Vulnerable populations are particularly at risk due to the rise of the cost of living and the rise of prices of basic products. Large percent of the electric energy in our country has been and is purchased on the open market. The rise of the prices has impacted the sector and the cost significantly. The rise of the prices of commodities in this sector has had a domino effect on other costs as well. In the first 5 months of 2022, our country has spent twice as much money for the import of electric energy as in all of 2020. In conclusion, there are several points that I would like to share with you as takeaways. The institutions are taking measures to mitigate the crisis at various levels. UNDP is working with its partners, national institutions, to contribute to the public dialogue on the importance of other actors to contribute to tackling these development challenges and impact of the global crisis. Among UNDP core national partners are, of course, the national institutions, local institutions, government, civil society, academia, civil society organizations, academia, and private sector, of course. Private sector is an important contribution to development by fostering innovation, providing funding and promoting entrepreneurship for North Macedonia. And I really hope that together, and only together, we can soften the impact of the crisis on most vulnerable and look for the better future.